Hello everyone and welcome to round 6 of the Neo Racing League season. We are here at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix.
Always a lot of oversteer around the last corner. I don't think this is going to be an improvement, but it is an improvement. A 12-0 that puts me back in my box. So is Speed Queen going to go for another lap straight away? And there's Shoot Fizzle coming out on their out lap now, so they're going for one lap towards the end.
Oh, yeah, get back in your box, Stig, because here we go. 9,000th up. Here comes Speed Queen. Looks to improve that little bit more. Certainly can improve, as we saw at the final corner. And when they did the double, can the Red Bull do the same once more and cement that pole position? We're going to stay on with the Red Bull. Can they make the improvements needed? But we've got other drivers who are starting their flying laps. Marcel, have they backed out? Yeah, they have, unfortunately. Gary Gator goes up to P3 for 12.5. Rubicola has spun it on the exit of turn 1, I believe, is now just letting everyone go by. But we have two drivers looking to fight for pole. 35 seconds left in the session. Shoot Fizzle, Speed Queen. Can either of them take pole? Can someone else take it away from them? We are starting now. Speed Queen goes to start their flying lap as we go down towards turn 1 with Shoot Fizzle only a couple seconds behind them into turn 1. Looks comfortable, has a little bit of wheel spin on exit, not much, but a tad. As we go down towards turn 2, completely flat in any form of cars. Now into turn 3, using up all the outside curve as possible to maximise the amount of room they have on rotation. Fastest in sector 1 as expected. However, what is it in comparison to Shoot Fizzle? Down towards turn 4.
Shoot Fizzle's two tenths slower.
Shoot Fizzle really struggling, but here's a lock up there from Speed Queen. That might be quite crucial there. As we go now down towards the last couple of corners, a lot of drivers are slowing up. Both drive our top 2 struggling. Gary Gator goes to P2, 12.1. That almost gets themselves pole position. Massive snap of over there steer from Speed Queen. That is session over. Can Shoot Fizzle do anything to top them? As we go down towards...
Shoot Fizzle's down.
Shoot
Fizzle's slower. It's second slow. About a second slower at the moment. Goes wide in sector 3. He's up now, but he's still slower than his previous lap. I don't know if this is an improvement. It's not. It's 1.5 tenths slower. He's on the second row. Gary Gator has come through and put it on P2. He's on the front row.
Excellent stuff from Gary. Shoot Fizzle, Speed Queen. Unfortunate that their last laps were not the ones. However, Speed Queen done it early in the session, a couple minutes earlier, and took pole position. 12.031, just over a tenth clear of Gary Gator. So we're going to get underway for round 6 of Neo Racing League Season 4. It's the Austrian Grand Prix, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. Decent start from the top 3. However, second phase, not so good for Shoot Fizzle. We're going to go into turn 1. And there's a bit of side-by-side action between DJT and Roddy, who got forced out wide. DJT keeps it in P4 as Roddy drops down to potentially P7 but when all's said and done. But Speed Queen leads the way side-by-side, doing Shoot Fizzle and DJT. DJT up the inside, trying to hang it in there, while Shoot Fizzle is looking at the top 2, pulling away. He's still side by side with the RB, going down towards the end, down towards turn 4. Dive down the inside from the RB. Excellent stuff. But can Shoot Fizzle come back at him? No, he can't. He just now has to sit behind and look at not just 2 rear wings, but 3 as well. Maybe 4 as Marcel dives up the inside. That is not the start our championship leader wanted. We'll start to see that coming into play as Gary looks to the inside, goes for the move on Speed Queen, dive down the inside into turn 3. He won't have the best of traction though, as he has to manage to throw a little bit more than Speed Queen, who now doesn't have the DRS compared to the Sauber, who goes to the inside, takes the lead, 3 wide between the 3 behind them. Can DJT make a move, defend from Marcel, who makes a move on Shoot Fizzle? The Aston Martin not having the best of starts shots, and this is helping Speed Queen, who unfortunately drops down to P2. However, is right on the back of Gary still.
But coming up into the first proper DRS zone of the track, going up the inside now. No, gonna wait. But DJTT going up around the outside of the Red Bull. Are they going to be able to make that stick? No, gets pushed up on the curb. Looks like he's going to be both side by side at the moment. Going to be side by side down into turn 4. DJTT sticking it around the outside, going deep on the brakes. There's a lock up from the Red Bull, pushing the RB wide again. And it looks like Speed Queen's got the better of that one.
This is going to be a 5-way fight for the race lead, as now Gary Gayer goes to the inside to defend. Speed Queen looks to the outside, blasts by with DRS into turn 1, and now Gary will have the DRS once more, but down towards turn 3. Can the Sauber regain the lead after losing it in one corner before? Up the inside goes the Mystery Machine into turn 3. Can the Red Bull defend? Not quite, as they're still side by side. The Sauber though has the DRS, whereas the Red Bull does not. The RB is now going to make their presence known after Aston Martin almost goes off into the barrier trying to avoid Marcel. I believe they might have clipped each other, as now the Shoot Fizzle might have a bit more damage.
Or are they just waiting until later on? Who knows? We'll find out in a few laps' time, maybe. Well, probably about 10. Oh, and look at that run out of the first corner for Speed Queen. There must have been an issue for DJTT there. It was straight past. I think that was even before the DRS zone. But coming up the inside now, Marcel looking up the inside of that RB, taking the very tight line. That's not going to be anything there. But this might leave something open for Shoot Fizzle on the way down into turn 4. They're touching front wing to rear wing. Is Shoot Fizzle looking around the outside? Is Marcel going to leave the room? Only just. Is Shoot Fizzle going to be able to look at anything around sector 2 here? He's up the inside. Can he make it stick? Yes, he does. Dives in on the brakes, and he's past the McLaren.
Championship leader moves back to P4, as now Speed Queen, like you say, got past for P2. Now can they get back by for B1? DJT did have an issue on the exit of turn 1, had a little bit of loss of back end on the curb on exit. So that allowed Speed Queen by so easily. However, Gary's going to go for a defence. Can the Red Bull make their way by? It's a repeat of 2 laps ago, but Speed Queen retakes that lead. Can the Aston Martin find their way by Gary Gayer and Speed Queen? The first and second place driver in the championship are going to go side by side with Speed Queen. However, Speed Queen, it might lose the lead here. As goes up the inside goes Gary Gayer, who takes the lead away from Speed Queen. The Red Bull might lose 2 positions in the space of 2 DRS straight. However, they're going to make it 3 wide. There's contact, and that's Shoot Fizzle off into the grass. He's very lucky to get away with that one. There's a retirement of Drift Maniac in sector 3 for Cooley. It's spun at turn 1. However, it is now utter chaos as Shoot Fizzle's dropped back down to the back of this group. However, Gary and Speed Queen managed to stay at the front end of it. DJT was aiming to get by and take advantage. However, Marcel has got his way into the final podium spot. This is absolutely mega.
It was carnage through there. Let's be honest. That was a gap that wasn't really going to ever be open for Shoot Fizzle, but they took a punt and it didn't pay off. I'm surprised none of those cars have damage, to be honest, but they are all incredibly lucky. Shoot Fizzle now making his way back up into P4, it looks like, against DJTT. That's damage for Marcel. Marcel now has the other side of his front wing damaged, so that McLaren is going to be losing a lot of downforce through the corners, especially the fast ones, like turn 4, where Shoot Fizzle's going to go around the outside of him. And yep, he's got that move pretty much done. Or maybe not. Marcel's coming back at him now. But then the Aston Martin goes up the inside and solidifies that move into P3.
However, Speed Queen looks almighty through this part of the lap as Shoot Fizzle gets a lot of speed through there, manages to cut to the inside, which turns to the outside of turn 8 into turn 9. He does an excellent job there, moves his way up to P2 as a championship leader. manages to put themselves right up close to their rival for their potential later in the championship rival, and ahead of the P2 man in the championship, Gary Gator. These drivers are really close, as Marcel has pitted as well. Shoot Fizzle goes for the lead around the outside. Excellent, just excellent timing there. No contention under braking. As we go down towards turn 3, can Speed Queen make the move stick? Yes, at the moment it looks likely. He has the inside bit of contact mid-corner, and that has just said, Red Bull has just said to the Shoot Fizzle, you're not getting any sort of traction out of that, son. I am taking this position, and now that's allowed Gary Gator through for P2 once more. Potentially 3 positions lost, maybe not, as DJT had a little look at the Aston Martin, but these guys are front wing to rear wing. As here comes DJT out of nowhere, gets an almighty amount of speed from the exit of turn 4 and through turn 5. Tries to go around the outside of Shoot Fizzle. There's a bit of contact mid-corner. That is almost put both of them off the circuit. However, has put them well off the back of Gary Gator now. Is certainly using that to their advantage as Shoot Fizzle becomes the next driver in that top group to come into the pits. That's Speed Queen and Gary Gator. They're not going to stop fighting. They're not going to think about the long-term picture of the potential undercut from the drivers behind. Speed Queen has to defend as hard as they can, but Gary Gator takes the lead away from the Red Bull once more. It'll be interesting to see how these 3 come out in comparison to Marcel got a 3 second, and it'll be interesting to see how these 3 come out in comparison to the rest, to the other 2, as it looks like Shoot Fizzle might have done the undercut here into turn 1. Our championship leader's got the lead by almost a second now. As we go down towards turn 3, he's going to have to go side by side with Funny Wave Band there, as the Ferrari looks to defend. The Aston Martin goes around the outside. And luckily for him, luckily for the Aston Martin, that traction really helped him as he managed to get by. The Haas is just going to cost Shoot Fizzle more and more time as we go through the final corner. He just gets held up that little bit more. This is going to entice Gary Gator into this fight as we go into turn 1. Shoot Fizzle not able to do anything about March Meister here. That's a bit of oversteer. Shoot Fizzle has to avoid, and luckily for him, no damage has arrived from that. However, that has cost the Aston Martin a ton of time. DJT's left the session, actually retired. What's happened there?
I think DJT and Marcel came together in Sector 2 because Marcel was in the gravel, I think.
And Kelly and Detective Mitch are going to be continuously fighting the rest of the race. Mark Baller and Funny Wave Band side by side now for P10. Funny Wave Band getting up to the final points playing position, but Mark Balder's not going to make it an easy job for him. He does have a penalty, however, so this is just for position on track, not for the end of the race. Switch back there from Funny Wave Band in defence. He's going to have the outside for turn 6. Around the outside he goes. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he does. There's the Ferrari. Moves their way back up to P10. Can Gary Gator get back by and calls himself off some sort of nuisance potentially? Could these 2 work together to try and catch the Aston Martin?
Oh, big crash. Sorry. Handful Up Kelly and Rowley have just taken each other out into coming up towards turn 3.
That is a virtual safety car. When does JPS go? He goes now. He's got an absolutely astonishing gap off the line. He caught Shoot Fizzle off guard by an absolute mile. Can JPS now do some sort of defence? Shoot Fizzle has a lot more grip as we go. He goes around the outside into turn 6. He makes a move stick, and that takes him to the lead of the race and puts him a car between him and Speed Queen, as Gary Gator is now trying to make a move on Speed Queen, while Speed Queen is making a move with JPS down the inside into turn 9. Both of them go. That pushes JPS out wide slightly, and now these 2 are desperate to get by because they need to keep up with Shoot Fizzle. Speed Queen needs to stay within DRS. They have done so. Can they catch back up now into turn 1? They're going to need to use this DRS to the full advantage. Shoot Fizzle got a time penalty. He's got a 3 second, and that could turn everything on its head.
They need to make sure that they got enough for what they want to do and make the attacking moves that they need to. DRS is now obviously enabled. Shoot Fizzle has left the session. Shoot Fizzle has dropped out. This is going to change everything.
Oh, this is absolutely going to change everything. Do you want to quickly get Shoot Fizzle back in while we've got a chance? Speed
If
Queen.
I've got them.
If he's on Xbox, so you should be able to find him. So Speed Queen will now take the lead away from the Aston Martin as Gary Gator is now looking to get by, and now it's become a one less horse of the race as Shoot Fizzle looks to be fizzling out. Gary Gator to the inside of turn 4. Can Speed Queen make the move stick? Can he make the move stick on Speed Queen, no less? Into turn 6, they go around the outside. Goes Gary Gator. He makes the move stick. Here comes Rupsy Cola, who looks to take pick up the scraps around the outside of turn 7. There's a bit of contact mid corner through turn 8, and these two are still side by side. This is going to help Gary. Rupsy Cola up the P2. Excellent stuff. Probably move of the season from him. He picked up the scraps, and that is excellent stuff from the Williams. He's going to stick right close to Gary Gator. He's only 4 tenths behind, but that 3-second time penalty may come in be crucial. Here comes Speed Queen with an almighty exit out of the final corner into turn 1. Can the Red Bull make their move stick? Rupsy Cola looks to defend. However, he's got to force these guys around him to get a time penalty. Funny wave ban has all of a sudden entered the fray. Handflap Kenny not too far behind. We're going to see a 3-wide battle into turn 3. Can we see anything stick there? As Rupsy Cola makes the move back on Speed Queen, back up the P2. This is helping Gary as these two continue to fight, but they have the DRS on the Sauber, who now has to defend. There's not much these two behind him can do. However, Rupsy Cola has got back up into P2 in track limits for these guys, and hope he doesn't get another one. He's going to look to the outside, look to the inside. He's going to dive Gary up the inside. Very late lunge there from the Williams. He's trying to make it stick. However, there's nothing coming of it as Speed Queen looks to go by, take advantage. It is now not going to be just a one position, potentially 2, 3 wide into turn 4. These guys are absolutely tooth and nail as we go through turn 5 into turn 6. Speed Queen takes the lead away from Gary. Gary is going to have the DRS. He's going to have the lunge. He's going to dive up the inside. Can he make the move stick? He's going to keep it to the inside. Speed Queen is going to have the outside and potential exit, and he certainly does so. As Gary Gator with the DRS to the inside to take the lead up the inside. Rupsy Cola making a move as well. There is absolutely no room for error between these drivers. As Speed Queen potentially about to lose another position. Never mind that. Turns to the fence into an attack as we go into turn 6. Excellent stuff from the Red Bull, and takes back the lead away from Gary, and we're on lap 33 about to be ended. We're going to go on to the final 3 laps. They're trying to weave, they're trying to break the slipstream, trying to break the toe, but there is nothing Speed Queen can do at that stage.
To add to the woes for Shoot Fizzle, he's also got front wing damage, so he's going to be really struggling for pace in that Aston Martin.
Yeah, that is not what you're going to be seeing if you're Shoot Fizzle. The race has certainly unravelled for him. At one point, only 10 laps ago, he was leading. He is now down the order. There's 2 by 2 like it's Noah's Ark as we go into turn 3. Speed Queen looks to try and defend. Gary's got the DRS though, as I think Speed Queen is trying to save a little bit of DRS here as we go down towards turn 4. As there's a bit of contact there, and that's Rupsy Cola onto the gravel after collision with Funny Wave Band. One too many dives, and that has ended in the Williams down the order and back with that group behind this battle for the lead. These two have been with each other pretty much all race. Only a maximum 3 seconds have separated them. And now we're going to be DRS with DRS. Speed Queen has got by. Gary Gator made some sort of error there. Handlap Kelly is going to make a move on Funny Wave Band. Almost goes into the back of Gary Gator. Thank God for ghosting. That almost ended Gary's chances of victory. But luckily for him, he manages to stay alive. Speed Queen, excellent race. It's an absolute masterclass from the two in front. Neither of them put a foot wrong. However, it's Mystery Machine denied. Speed Queen in the Red Bull is giving her Speed Queen wings as we go round the final corner to win round 6 in Austria. Speed Queen takes victory. Gary Gator comes home in P2. Funny Wave Band will come home in P3 by the end of it all, and take their first podium on debut, no less.
Speed Queen ended up taking that victory by over a second ahead of Gary Gator in second. Funny Wave Band in third. The top point scorers staying exactly as they were. All of them actually are staying exactly as they were. And that means the driver's standings is, well, it stays pretty similar. Shoot Fizz at the top, now 16 points ahead of Gary Gator in second. Speed Queen in third, just 12 points behind. So the Red Bulls charge up the standings looks set to continue. Then it's Rupsy Cola, 2 points behind in fourth. JPS 5 points behind in fifth. Then Vakuli and Marchmeister both on 37 in sixth and seventh. Hamflap Kelly in ninth. And well, Bonvia rounding out the top 10 with Neo filling that other spot. Then Funny Wave Band, David, JC, Nutria, Ali Star, Rolly, Marcel, Detective Midge, Golden Sniper, and then DJ TT rounding out the top 20. Aston Martin leading the Constructors' Championship from courtesy of 80 points from Shoot Fizz and 21 from Hamflap Kelly.